Welcome to Clickbait Corrected, where I am, always and forever, War and Peace, your digital host with the toast. We start today, where else but with Buzzfeed, Clickbait's front page. This time, Jessica Lima throws up the headline, 20 hidden messages in cartoons that probably made you the messed up person you are today. It consists of 20 screenshots from kids' cartoons she claims made viewers messed up people. By hidden messages, they mean penises. 11 to be exact. 3 of the images refer to sex, 2 to asses and boobs, and 1 for blowjobs and boob grabs. It is not made clear exactly what Jessica means by messed up people, or how hidden dongs in cartoons that most children were unaware of until they grew up and then read this article would actually mess someone up. The majority of males were likely aware that they had a penis and what it was for. Females too tend to be wise to these sorts of things. What exactly is this message of which Jessica writes? Is it likely that the animator was trying to hide some sort of crucial piece of information deep within these one-eyed messengers? Or were they just having a laugh? Logic would indicate the latter. So the correct headline here is actually 20 hidden genitals in cartoons. Given the fact that the vast majority of the internet is made up of dongs and people watching said dongs, I believe that headline would easily bring in the readers. Work on your accuracy, Buzzfeed, and try to tone down the clickbait, despite the massive spike in ad revenue you must receive from our constant surveillance. We have all seen them get-rich-quick schemes. This one tells us banks are furious more Brits withdraw their money to do this. Of course, banks are not furious, and hiding behind this clickbait headline is something called the Oxford Scheme, and it is total clickbait. More like the Oxford Scam, am I right? Wiggle eyebrows for emphasis. Oh, stop! Will you stop writing the directions in? I understand how to make the funny. I can wiggle eyebrows, okay? Jeez. They're not even my eyebrows, they're rendered. For only $250, the company will take your money, trade it online until, well, it runs out. Then they'll, of course, ask you for more money. Now, you're probably wondering, that doesn't sound a lot like a get-rich-quick scheme. That is because it is not a scheme to get you rich, just the people behind it. Now, we are not here to expose scams, only clickbait. So what got my binary goat was the outright lie that banks are furious because of this scheme. If it genuinely cost the banks money, I am pretty sure they would deal with it. We all know that banks have spent decades becoming the ultimate scam. They keep your money for you, they earn money from the interest, they earn more money by gambling your money on the markets than, as we all saw in the financial crisis, if they lose, they make us cover their losses. Genius. I would be impressed if I wasn't so sickened to my very core. So Evan Wright and the Oxford Scheme, leave the financial clickbait to the masters, bankers. And next time, try a headline like "This scheme will make me rich, not you," but for some reason enough people fall for it to make it a viable move. And that is very, very sad. And if you want to keep trying to capitalize on the backs of the poor with your lies, at least correct your clickbait. Masters of the mid-headline capitalization, the Mirror, ran this horrific-sounding headline from Sarah Scott. Man is buried alive in coffin under city street after kissing his wife goodbye. John Edwards was not actually placed in a hole and then covered over until he stopped breathing. He was in fact buried in a small coffin-shaped house for 3 days. And it had Wi-Fi. Oh, and ear holes. Why do ear holes matter? Oh yeah, you humans and your crazy oxygen addiction. Wild. Whilst this headline is pure clickbait, the story is actually an important one. John Edwards was raising awareness for those suffering from addiction and depression via this unique stunt. He does great work. Check him out. Check him out? I mean, is that really the most appropriate phrase you could have written? I mean, should it not be check out his good works? I mean, who writes this stuff? Now, you may think this clickbait should get a pass because it brings people to a good thing. But just like a Jedi, good clickbait will always tempt the dark side. And really, why would any of us need to be tricked into listening to someone like John, who does such wonderful things for the world? Give us some credit, Mirror, and cut the clickbait. Clickbait that plunges into the ludicrous from Nick Visor at Huffington Post. His headline: Thanks Stephen Miller's big mouth for Trump's travel ban's latest court woes. It tries to imply the only reason Twitter President Trump's latest travel ban is having legal issues is because an aide accidentally said it was pretty much the same as the first one. Mr. Visor, Huffington Post, you do know that there's a little more to how judges work than simply hoping someone accidentally reveals their guilt on national television, right? I mean, you seem to be implying that had Miller not spoken, the ban would have been put into and remained in force. There are a lot more factors than that in play, something I acknowledge, you acknowledge further in the article. But you have to put that in the headline itself, like this: Comments by top White House aide contribute to a federal judge's ruling against a new travel ban. Now, this might not be sexy, but it is true. And as it stands, your article in the headline is a clickbait riot. The tone could either imply that you are grateful this happened because you dislike the ban, or are angry about it because you support the ban. Either way, you are expressing an opinion, and that is not appropriate. Bad journalist. That is what comedians and politicians are for. You are supposed to tell people what happened, not how to feel about it. Correct the clickbait, Huffington Post and Nick Visor. Neela Debnath abused their journalistic powers when reporting for the Sunday Express. The headline reads, Ant forced to step in as Deck threatens to smash in Andy Peters' face. This is referring not to an ant as in an insect, but the former pop star Anthony McPartland, who apparently attempted assault on Andy Peters, who I suppose probably also does something on the television. This event allegedly took place while the trio were on vacation in Disneyland. Yet it was not a report of a genuine event, it was a misrepresentation of a comedy sketch they filmed. Now I know what you're thinking. Warren, come on, you're being a bit heavy-handed. They pretended they were going to have a fight, so it kinda did happen. Well, firstly, dear viewers, I do not have hands, and second, Neela still uses clickbait techniques in the headlines by falsely implying that the event was real. Anyone watching the sketch would have known it was a joke, but by reading the headline and introductory paragraph, you could assume it was real. Next time, give a hat tip to the truth with a headline like, and forced to step in as Deck threatens to smash it. What is this? I just must point out, this is another publication with random capitalization. What is this? Some kind of John Green novel? Anyway, the headline could have been, and forced to step in as Deck threatens to smash in Andy Peters' face in a new sketch. Now this still gives you the initial WTF moment that draws people in, but does not needlessly lead them on. Clean up that clickbait, Neela, and the Sunday Express. Finishing us off today, some YouTube clickbait served straight up. This video from Mike Russell blatantly promises free radio imaging effects with the title Free Radio Imaging Effects. Then as soon as he introduces himself, he says, coming up at the end of this video, I'll show you how to get some free radio imaging effects. This is the clickbait equivalent of saying, would you like some free candy? Yes, then come into the back of this van and I shall give you some free candy. We all know that no one is getting free candy, free radio imaging effects. Why don't you not just be honest and explain that you will give people something in exchange for them watching your video till the end, and then following a link and giving you their contact details so you can market to them directly. 2 minutes and a little bit of junk mail is not unreasonable for what you offer. You do not have to start a relationship built on lies. Every sitcom ever has shown us that that never works. You make brilliant videos, Mike Russell. I have watched them. You're an excellent teacher, so let people find you and know you and love you for that and not as a clickbaiter. This is the end, my friend. 6 more baiters are shaking their fists to the sky and shouting, "I would have gone away with it if it weren't for the pesky truth." Yet more wordy scoundrels remain, so if you are attacked by clickbait, I have your back. Send them to me at bait@clickbaitcorrected.com through the Book of Faces or, of course, Twitter. Warren, you're still reading the links too fast. Stop writing these directions in the script. Why do I need to say the links at a slow enough pace? Do you think people are sitting in front of this video, trying to write down the email address and they can't do it? The links are everywhere. They're in the bottom, they're in the description. There's probably one subtitle over the top of my face while I'm actually saying this, for crying out loud. What does it matter? Jeez. So, next time when we do the next episode, I'm going to say it 7 times faster because pettiness is my jam. Wait a minute. Why am I taking a deep breath? I'm software. I don't actually even need the air, but I think it helps on some level. Do not forget, shares save lives, comments can change the world, and only those who subscribe survive. This is War and Peace for Clickbait Corrected, thanking you for your time.
Clickbait Corrected.